Welcome back to the podcast. This is Motivational Memories. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a podcast, so I do apologize for the delay for anyone who's been watching. The premise of the show is to kind of give context to my values for my new son. He's going on 9 months now. I've been doing these podcasts before he was born, and I hope to continue them long until he's older, so he has an idea of what my values are and potentially how they changed over time. So I think it's really important to have a video log of things like this. If you do not have one, I highly recommend you doing one, because I think it's important for if you have kids or even for yourself to kind of go back and look and see, how I changed, things like that. I'm doing a lot of work since I've gotten a little break from the podcast. We finally had some really big months at my current company. Right now, I'm the Chief Operational Officer for Nobility Logistics, a trucking organization. I'm a pretty young COO. I just turned 30 3 days ago. 3 days ago. So I am a young buck in the trucking industry. 30 years old is relatively young for the position I'm in, and I'm very grateful for it. I work really close with Mike Serrero, the owner, and he's fantastic. I've learned a lot from him, and I think we're going to continue to do great things together and really grow the organization. I'm also working on a lot of different projects, a couple tech projects. One of them is called Lane Hero. That one is a data analytics tool for logistics. That one's really cool. I like the tech stuff. I like helping out on that. One of the big things, that I'm also working on is an outsource company trying to, place people in the Philippines with jobs here in the United States and help them be successful, help grow different companies through, just outsourcing personnel. The ones that integrate closely in the company, those are the ones that are the most successful. The name of the brand that I've helped build for one of my friends called smileanddial.co. I'm kind of building that, one, to hopefully replace my wife's income, and then two, to eventually gift that to potentially my dad for his retirement if some of my other things kind of pop off. I'm also the chief revenue officer on an oil project that I've been working on for, probably going on like 3 years now, that I've been working on that project. It is challenging because we're doing it in the Philippines. So working in the Philippines is always really hard, especially, being here in the States. But it's really rewarding, because I think the amount of economic change we're going to be able to bring there, if we're able to accomplish this project, has the potential to be really, really massive, really, really big. And I think, I would love to be able to help people in that regard. So that's something I think is important and why I do what I do. So let's go ahead and get into it. The topic today is embrace the suck. I heard this very early on in my military career when I served in the Army and the Army Reserves. Basically, the premises of this is it's going to suck. Like, there's no getting around either the thing that you're doing or the thing that's going to happen or any of that. There's no way that this isn't going to be terrible. So instead of like complaining about it and just like getting in your head about it, embrace it. Like, hug onto it, push through it. It'll be a much better experience if you do that, and it will make the time go by quicker than if you just, complain about it and whine and gripe and just like make it just overall terrible. So, that's kind of the big premise, is just like force yourself through it. You'll get through it. Another thing that kind of brings this to mind is another saying, this too shall pass, right? Where regardless of what you're going through, the challenge is, it is a momentary speck in time. It really is. Things will move very quickly. You'll get past it. You'll forget it. Hopefully you learn from it. Hopefully you learn from the suck. Hopefully you learn from, the challenges that you face. I think that's one of the biggest things that I try to do when life is pulling me down and life sucks, is to truly embrace it, to focus on it. How is this going to improve my life? How can I get better through this? I think that's, really one of the telltale signs of maturity is being able to see how you caused the problem and how you can learn and grow from it, and hopefully not repeat the problem, and be a better person because of it, or more successful, or more diligent, or whatever the pitfall was that caused you to get into the suck. I've had many experiences in life that have really been terrible, from physical labor ones to physical pain ones to emotional pain. One of the emotional ones is getting fired. I've been fired. I got fired without cause, with no explanation. I didn't know what was happening, and I had done a pretty big career move to do that, and it failed miserably failed. So how did I come back from that? Well, I went to work. I embraced the suck. My wife was there with me. That is something that is really, really important when you're going through something that sucks, is to have someone there for you, or is to have someone in the trenches with you. So if you are going through something alone, reach out to me. I'll be here for you. I know what it's like to be sitting on the edge of my bed and to feel hopeless and lost. One thing that does help with that, that has helped me through my life is this book right here, the Bible. This has gotten me through so many unbelievable hardships. This has gotten me through the suck. And it's because there's hope in this book. Stories of hope. It talks about how God is really good and how he looks out for us. And that no matter what we go through, whatever trials he places in our path, we're able to overcome it, because he's never going to give us something that we cannot accomplish. Now, he might send us into the depths. He might send us into the most challenging times in our lives. But every path that you walk, you're going to encounter people. And maybe, just maybe, God's putting you in a place that you can witness to somebody, that you're supposed to talk to. When you're hopeless, you open up, you reach out. And maybe through that reaching out, you help inspire somebody to come to Christ. That might be the reason. There's a lot of different reasons. And a lot of them we don't know. Bad things happen to good people all the time. And there is sometimes a lesson. And some of it can be, seemingly meaningless or seem meaningless. And in those in particular, that's where you're learning to trust. You're learning to trust in a higher power, because you don't know what this could have solved. A death of a child is a big one. Things that people being evil is another big one. That you just don't know why things like that happen. And part of the explanation is we can't know. But what we can do in any situation that we're in is control our actions. And something that I always do is kind of push to embrace the suck. Jocko Willis, who is a much better warrior than I was, he served much longer and had much more distinguished of a tour. He would tell his soldiers, anytime that they would complain about something or bring something negative to him, he'd say good, because you never know what the bad will create. And a lot of times, bad, terrible things make you harder, make you stronger. What does not kill you makes you stronger. And that is the truth. That's the truth. So, the more that you can focus upon that, embracing the suck. Right now, something that you might be experiencing is loneliness. I think that is, especially for young men nowadays, that is something that is really tough. There's not as many good women around. There's not as many traditional, kind, generous women around. There's a lot of women that are feminist and empowered and doing all this stuff. And if you're a traditional man who wants a good Christian woman, you might be lonely. You might be very lonely. And I just want you to know that there are people out there that care about you. I care about you. I started this podcast for my son, but I'm also a big brother. I'm a big brother of 5 siblings. Well, 5.5. My mom had another kid later in life, and I think that's what this podcast is about, is to kind of give these lessons that I've learned. Like I want to talk to you like I've talked to my siblings, and Koa, this is for you. And it sucks. It really sucks that the way that the world is trending is away from traditionalism, because this world is built on the backs of traditional people, built on the backs of traditional men. And I think men have come under attack in recent years. I hope to create a safe haven for men and to be really help inspire this. So, regardless of what you're going through, reach out. My company's called smileanddial.co. You can reach out there. Tell me you came from the podcast. I'm here to chat. Right now it's a little after 1 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I'm always up late. I'm always up. Because I'm working hard. I'm trying to get ahead and trying to be successful for my family. But at the end of the day too, I want to be available for people. I want to help people. So, you got this. Embrace the suck. Embrace life. Embrace the challenges. Push through it. Become better. You cannot become hardened steel without going through the fire of life and embracing it and channeling it and hardening yourself to become better, to become more refined. You can do this. I believe in you. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have success in life and in business. And son, I love you.